ToeJam and Earl, one of the funkiest games on the planet, and something that inspired my childhood and this next Magic the Gathering Commander deck. Hi, I'm ZBexx, and I'm a professional cosplayer and trading card game personality, and today I'm going to show you a deck where every Earthling and every present, along with clues, bucks, and more, are represented in every single card that's not a land in this deck. Each of these card singles I got from my family's local game store, Addictive Behaviors, which you can check out in Eugene, Oregon, or online at ccgobsession.com, where you can get thousands of card prices at the click of your mouse. All right, let's get into this video. We've got a ToeJam and Earl themed deck here. Some things are kind of obvious, like Minskin Boo is one of the Earthlings. It's the hamster in a ball. Academy Elite, we've got the Nerd Herd. They'll trample you if you're not careful. They get bigger and bigger. The Audacious Reshapers. This is one of the presents that you can open in the game. This is the school book. So it's not that great. It can make you fall asleep. I have some artifact synergy in my deck, so I think that's pretty cool. Another present that you can open is a boombox. So we had to have Blaster Combat DJ because, of course, he is a boombox. Another Earthling enemy, the Mole, which fortunately we have a new mole in Magic. Whenever you level up in the game, there's fireworks that go above your head. So we had to have the leveling up, the explosive welcome. Anchor to Reality. It's like, you know, getting a clue. We also have some other just kind of flavorful spells to make our deck play good. We've got Fork in the Road, which, you know, it's mana ramp. There's different roads that you walk on. There's grass, there's desert, so it's fitting. The road changes depending on if you go to the edge of the map or not. And of course, you can collect bucks in the game and use them when you meet certain characters. So you might hit the mother load and get a ton of bucks. We have quite a few buck cards because you can pick up bucks. That you'll just find them laying around. It's like, sweet, bucks. So we've got Seize the Spoils because you're just going to pick it up. No problem. And then we got to go back to some of the enemies that you'll encounter. One of the Earthlings that I think is the scariest one in the game and will sneak up out of nowhere and make you die is the Boogeyman. So we had to have Startled Awake, the Persistent Nightmare. He can go like invisible and just sneak up on you and he screams and you get scared. When you find presents on the map, you get to figure out what they are. And we had to have some rose bushes, mana short. The rose bushes are defending you from enemies. You can put one up at a time. It kind of is like a wall. I'm going to play mana short. Oh. Also have some spring shoes that you can get as a present. So we had to have spring cleaning. It destroys an enchantment and you clash with an opponent. So it just has spring in the name, but it was flavorful. We need to collect more bucks. We've got 3 wishes. So got some money on there. Get some bucks. And you get to look at cards. Getting cards is like getting bucks. We've got Whir of Invention, which is flavorful because it looks like the ship all whirs together. Here's some of the Get a Clue Earl spells. We've got Confirm Suspicions. Counter target spell, and you get 3 clues. So get a clue, Earl. And we needed a slingshot one of the presents you can open to use against enemies in the game, which is a slingshot of tomatoes. Had to be a red spell because of the tomatoes. We've got Ember Cleave. Ember Cleave can throw the tomatoes because it enters automatically and it gives double strike and trample. So you're trampling over with the tomatoes, just like really throwing them. We also have the pieces of the spaceship I've alluded to a little bit already. We've got all of the pieces of Cauldra. So the point of the game in order to get back to Funkotron is you've got to reassemble the pieces of your groovy spaceship. I forget how many pieces there are. There's more than 3, but for the sake of something funky and cool, we went with the classics from Mirrodin. This is going to be my new deck box for the ToeJam and Earl deck. It's the Floral Places 2 in Tulum Blue by Ultimate Guard. So beautiful. Love my partner. Do me a real one. Check out Ultimate Guard through the link. There's all sorts of different types of shoes that you can open, and one of them is rocket skates. So we have Zephyr boots to give a creature flying and to loot on combat damage to a player. We love that. Rocket skates are pretty wild. I like in the game, like you often can go off an edge with rocket skates on. So the fact that you might loot something out of your head that you don't want, like going off the edge into your discard, I think that's fun. Did you know that there's a hot tub that you can fall into? It's a kind of a trick in the game. I don't know how many people know about this, but we had to include the invigorating hot spring just as a little Easter egg. This wizard in the game is good for you. So we're going to go with Joyra, who's a human wizard, and, you know, give stuff suspend just for fun. You were loving this, Brew. A bunch of these cards that you barely remember from drafting back in the day. Yeah, we found some goodies. We're going deep for the theme. The key is it still has to be playable. That's the key. There's an enemy in here that's Cupid. It shoots arrows at you and makes it so your directional arrows go the long way. So we needed somebody who was loving and had a bow and arrow. So it's kind of a stretch here, but we're going with Helena and Elena partners. That's our Cupid. You see it? I see it. We also have a lawnmower guy. You do not want to get run over by the lawnmower human. These Earthlings, I'm telling you, they're funky. So we've got Ledger Shredder. He's shredding paper. That's pretty close to shredding blades of grass. And he does stuff. When a player casts their second spell each turn, he connives. There's also a hula dancer in the game who, when she's on the screen, you might just stop and hula dance, and it's kind of obnoxious because usually the hula dancer is on the screen when the boogeyman comes up and you die. So the hula dancer, I don't know if you've ever been to a luau, but they have fire dancers that spin fire. So we had to have a pyrotechnic performer as a hula dancer. It's perfect, right? Are y'all sticking here with me? I hope so. If you're liking this video and seeing this on the replay, slam that subscribe button, hit the follow button right now. Please, Fab Fam, we're here. We're having a great time. We have all the video game decks. We're going to be at Command Fest Dallas with Cool Stuff Inc. April 19th, 20th, whatever that Friday, Saturday, Sunday is. Continuing on with the enemies, we've got Scuttling Butler, who is our shopper. Look. The crazy shopper that's pushing the cart also can run you over. This Scuttling Butler is pushing a cart. Another enemy that is probably the second most frightening enemy in the game to me, especially because I have extreme dental anxiety, is the crazy dentist. He runs around screaming with like a needle going, ah! So it had to be Stitch or Giraffe. They are the same person. Corporate wants you to find the difference between these two pictures. They are the same. Now, there are different types of features on the map. I mentioned grass and desert. There's also water, and there's also an enemy in the water. This Earthling is a shark. It's the voracious great shark. Going back to one of our friendly Earthlings, we do have some allies in the game. There's an opera singer. So we do have a singer that's been printed in the last year, and it's a Zephyr singer. I like that when it enters, it gives another creature flying if it was convoked. So the opera singer helping you out. The Zephyr singer is very helpful for your board. A flavor win. The planar bridge. That just looks like something that you would need and essentially helps you find the other pieces of the spaceship. I feel like people might target it, but I'm like, I'm just trying to do Cauldra. Like, just let me do my thing. It's not even that much of a problem. We're just having fun. We got to get some more bucks, everybody. We're not done getting the bucks. And the only copy that I could find of this card with this art specifically is in German. But it's Dream Cash in English. Look at all those bucks that you're getting. You just picked up some bucks. If you want to know what the card actually does, you draw 3 cards, choose 2 of them from your hand, and put both either on the top or bottom of your library. Now, one of the enemies that you might encounter on Earth is a swarm of angry bees. So we had to have Hornet Queen, who puts out 4 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and death touch. So perfect. And the wise man that I was telling you about, he wears a carrot suit. There actually is a creature. The other thing too about the Earthlings, which I don't know if you've noticed, all of the Earthlings are creatures because they're Earthlings. So they had to be creatures. So there actually is a carrot creature. It's the vegetation abomination. It's a carrot guy. We have a few more flavorful ways to help us ramp up to some of these higher costing spells. We're very far from our home planet, so we have the far wanderings. Tomatoes come in different forms. Tomatoes can be things that you can throw. There are chickens that can throw tomatoes at you. There's also a present that you can open, which isn't the greatest, where tomatoes start raining from the sky. They're pretty easy to avoid because you can see their shadow. So as long as you're not like stuck doing a hula dance or something, you should be fine. Volcanic Fallout. Can't be countered and deals 2 damage to each creature and each player. The tomatoes aren't usually enough to kill you. They do take some of your health down. But, you know, we like it. But if we're dealing with a token swarm deck, let's take out some of those 1/1 squirrels or, you know, insects before they become problems. Obviously, depending on what I have in play, maybe I won't be doing that, but it's fun. It's Commander. More presents. We had to have a bag of tricks because we're going to get something random out of our library. Pretty self-explanatory on that one. We also have an ice cream truck, which is definitely an enemy. An Earthling that's driving an ice cream truck around. You do not want to get mowed over from that. We've got the Deluxe Dragster. And you don't want to get run over by it. It can't be blocked except by vehicles, so it is going to run over some people. When it deals combat damage to a player, you get to cast an instant or sorcery card from their graveyard without paying its mana cost. So we don't know what these other Earthlings at the table are up to, but we're going to use their spells to try to get home to Funkotron. Other ways that we might defend ourselves against the Earthlings, you do get tomatoes that you can just have. It's not as good as the slingshot. So we've got the Javelin of Lightning. It's a little bit weaker than the Ember Cleave. It does also auto attach, so it kind of has the same theme. So I like that the tomatoes are both, they're a present. They're both an equipment that you can get, so it's like something tangible. Whenever you hear a telephone ringing on the map, if you find the telephone, it will reveal more pieces of the level of the world that you're on right then. So it can maybe help display where a piece of your ship is located at, where the elevator is at to go up to the next level, because it goes up. The telephone is the surveyor's scope because it's revealing other pieces of the map. So you're getting basic lands. The most thematic thing ever, right? What's your favorite card that I've shown you so far from my ToeJam and Earl deck? This is not the full deck. I would say it's only about a third of it. Also, I have all of my deck lists for my ToeJam and Earl deck, my Chrono Trigger deck, and my Mario Kart 64 deck on my Moxfield. So check those out. Not even sponsored by Moxfield. Just go check out my deck lists if you want to know them. And remember, you are fabulous.